Yeah, well, just a question. The number to this Takshu is going into Pine Ridge, South Dakota. That's an Oglala Indian reservation. You guys know that?
No, did not know that. Didn't know that. Actually, the ownership of TalkShoe has since I don't know, maybe a year, 2 years now. A couple years now. They just recently had new ownership. So
yeah, it's IOTM. IOTM owns it. IOTM. It's something
IOTM.
IOTM.
I don't know who those people are.
Yeah, well, they're interesting. I talked to them. I have this very bad habit of researching everything.
That's fine.
I'm just interested. Goes into Pine Ridge Indian Reservation because, according to Glen, Indians are from India. Yeah, I don't know how much he's talked to you about that.
A lot. He's talked a lot about that with us.
Yeah, well, I'm just find it interesting.
That's all you. That's all evidence. That's noted, and because when I first started talking to Glenn, it was on this platform here. It was about like 10 years ago, and now when they had the new ownership, or they changed the they basically remodeled the website. Everything from the beginning of our conversations, everything from the beginning when we first started talking was erased.
I know, that's what the guy told me from 2015 back. What's interesting is that IOTM website addresses, the first one is in Toronto, Canada. Second one is in Los Angeles. 7080 Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah, I find it interesting.
Yeah, when you go on the site, you'll see the channels are promoted, or most of the channels, the people that use it, it will be religious people, all ecclesiastic. They may use it as some form of, I don't know, getting a message, certain messages or something across.
Yeah, Jason Martin, the CEO of IOTM, went to Queen's University.
There you go. Yeah.
And Noam Tomaczek graduated as an electrical engineer from McGill University in Montreal. Yeah, McMaster University, that's another one in Canada, this guy. Yeah. So, and then from Old Dominion University, this lady. Yeah, I find it very interesting. Well, anyhow, I'm going to repeat again. Did Zach get on the site?
Zach, you on? Because I threw you. I called him and asked him.
Is he here?
Oh yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Yep.
I was going to say the night before Glenn died, or the day before, I woke up in the early hours of the morning, and it just woke me right up. I had the impression of Glenn lying down, and he raised himself up a little bit, and he said, "Tell Jennifer I have to go." And as far as I'm concerned, that message was transmitted to me through the cell, and that's when I knew. I told Glenn that day or that evening. I told him in the evening on Saturday night. I get a call the next morning at about 5:58 in the morning from this Dr. Kamal over at Brockville General Hospital, and he said, "I'm sorry to wake you with the bad news. But Glenn is bleeding internally, and he has lost his hemoglobin, and hematocrit blood levels have gone down dramatically, and he is bleeding intestinally. And I don't, we were scheduled to do liver biopsy on the 8th, which was Monday, the next day. But I don't think he's going to make it. And, we're not able to, and we'll keep you posted as things move along. So that same day, I get a call, I guess that was Monday morning. I get a call on 12:05 my time that he had died. And that was 3:05, where he was. And to me, that's 3:05 is 8:0. And I don't know if that was creation's timing that day, and saying that's who killed him, or if it was their timing and they timed it for that as a signal for them. And he died on 12/8/19. On 1/8/2020, he would have been 78. And, there's this whole connection between double numbers like that and death. And it's their stuff. So, and within an hour and a half of his death, I got a call from a guy, Dr. Dufour, who said he is the coroner. And I said, boy, they move along on this one. It's fast. And he's saying he's going to perform the autopsy. And I said, well, Glen wanted a liver biopsy. That was what he wanted. And he said, oh, we're not going to do that. There's no need for that. He had liver cancer. The tests were conclusive. And I said, that's not what I heard Dr. Kamal say to Glen, because I was on the phone when Dr. Kamal was telling stuff to Glen earlier in the week. And Glen had agreed and stated he wanted a liver biopsy. The court wants a liver biopsy. They want it in writing. Whatever these people put, they want that in writing, because that will go to the pineal court as evidence. And if they think that it's evidence that Glen had a liver cancer, they are sadly mistaken, because I could guarantee you right now that whatever was done with Glen's body from the time he died and where they took him and what they did, the cell were present. So they know. They know exactly what was done and what wasn't done. And they have their experts in that field too. Just like they were present when John went in to view Tom's body after he died over at Kempville District Hospital, and a member of the cell stayed in that room with the body and watched from that point on. So it will be no different in this case. So this is a cover-up, and they're going to continue to try and cover up, but they can't. They believe they can. They can't.
I've seen a lot of photos of the old pictures on the farm, and I think I see Tom, but I'm not 100% sure. Is Tom like curly haired, black haired?
No.
Older guy, gray beard.
Yeah.
Tom had white hair, long hair, and a beard, a big long beard, and he always wore a baseball cap, and he was skinny.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Glenn told me, oh gosh, it must have been somewhere between the September and October, somewhere in there, that he told me that he was willing to die in order to stop these people. You know, and when he said what he meant, stop them, is that creation is not, is making, cleaning house right now. There are people here and alive right now that are not going to be allowed to go into paradise, and they're not going to be allowed into the next universe because they are part of the problem here that messed this universe up. And this universe is broken and it is tainted by what they did. That's why it has continued to expand at an ever-increasing rate.
Mm-hmm.
It is directly linked to that. And so in order for this whole thing to move on, these people have to be removed. And nothing can happen on the farm until they're gone and out of the way. So they will basically wipe themselves out and do themselves in, because creation is not going to kill them. Their God will kill them. But when they die, they're going to get in line. They're going to be waiting a long time. Now, I know that the Lou is coming, but I also know that there were arrest warrants put on a lot of people by the courts. And so since their God is done with them, their God will allow things to happen with them. However they die, I don't know, or when, but soon, I think. And then as soon as they go, they're going to get picked up and they're going to be put in line and wait for their trials. So they think they have stopped this. They're going to keep trying to take the property too, but that will just add to their sentence. And it's all up in the air as to whether I become involved in that property right now, because I have no idea right now whether that is something to try and ensnare me in something that is financially going to break me. That's what I don't know right now. So I'm awaiting for creation to send word to me on what I do about that. Because right now I don't feel led. I don't know what's the right word to just jump into it. I have reservations, and I suppose there's a reason for that. The promise to me was that when everything is done, when this is all done, I will be back on the farm. And I was promised 14 years together with Glen. Now, these people don't know the reality of what death is, who the dead are and what they are, and how any of it works. So they think that they got Glen out of the way. They have simply released him to be more present. He can be anywhere now, just like the cell are, because he's the head of the cell. So he will be a problem now that they can't hurt anymore. They don't understand that right now. So I'm relieved that he's not in pain anymore. And I realized, and I went back and listened to this last episode that you all did together with him. And I listened to the one before that. And from the one before that to this last one, something changed because he was out of breath when you guys were talking to him. And that's when those people were bringing him food. That's when they started being around. There was timing to all of this. I see that the CBC been putting some articles out about cancer and people dying quickly. And the one they put out today is a guy that's laying in bed in a hospital gown that's got long, like silver hair and a silver beard and glasses. And I'm thinking, wow, what a coincidence. No.
Sounds like a cover-up, right?
Yeah.
Almost like a cover-up, right?
Yeah, and they're just putting this article out about this guy that's decided he's going to die he has end-stage liver disease, or end-stage kidney disease, and he's on dialysis. And he's foregoing dialysis because he can't get the treatment where he's living. He has to go a long ways away to get it, and he doesn't think that's right. So it's his choice to die. And he will last about 8 days, according to the article. And his last dialysis was on, I think, the 7th or the 8th. Yeah. So, it's just too weird, and it cannot be coincidental. And we've seen the CBC do this stuff time after time, kind of mirroring what has happened with Glen and myself over the years. And I don't know if they're assuaging their guilt. Like, okay, we'll put out something like that, because we can't put it out about them. Yeah, they could. Or something else, I don't know. But they're hypocrites, and they lie by omission. Oh, okay, I've had my say.
Well, when I spoke to Glen, the last time I spoke to him in the hospital, as soon as I heard him talking, like it was kind of difficult to understand him, and he had a problem with his breathing. Yep. It was really bad, and I was trying to be optimistic, and he told me, I asked him, I said, how this happened? Were you poisoned? What's going on? And he said, taxi drivers.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
And said, how can I help? He said, it's too late for that. And I said, I want to see you again. And said, I hope I see you. Hope I see you there.
Yeah, well, there were 2 taxi drivers giving him food. One was named Ray, Kempville Taxi Service, and the other one, Pete. Okay? So they were giving him food. This has to do with Kim Little being there. And there's some kind of connection. So I don't have any idea right now. I have some suspicion, but I don't have a good thing that I would say right now. But he had to be there, whether he knew it or not. Yeah, well, Glenn knew, though. Glenn knew what was going on, and he didn't want to say to me, I'm dying. He knew.
Well, he didn't want you to worry. He didn't want you to worry any more than you were.
Well, it's kind of... death is a funny thing. Dying is a funny thing because you know. And the person might think they're sparing you, but you know already. And I wanted the things said before that time. There were some things, but there still will be a lot more things because I'll see him again, just like I see the cell, the American cell down here. So, the timing is everything. And Glenn talked about perfect speed. And perfect speed is being there. And so he will be here and he will talk to me when the time is perfect for that. The project on the farm will happen. It is going to be different. Not going to be anything that you would, conceive of right now. And because the dead will walk there. And you may see them. Probably will. You may talk to them. Probably will. At their discretion, because as I've been told, you don't just get to call up the dead or conjure the dead. That's not even the reality. If they talk to you, it's an honor. And it's because you earned it. So there is a place where life and death meet. And they mingle. And that is going to be the farm. That is the chosen point at which the appointed time, the 12 people and myself will leave without experiencing death, and the cats go too. And some people will stay behind because they've chosen to finish up the job and here, and then we'll go later. Nobody should lose hope over what happened. And, I have my dark moments. I do.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I have my dark moments. But I am holding on to what I was promised. I've seen too many odd things that I can't explain.
I know what you mean. I haven't seen a lot, but I have seen things in my life connected to that farm over there that I can't really share with anybody because it's not something I can share. It's not like something I can prove. So kind of just keep it to myself and, you know, maybe talk to other people who would understand, but
Well, there's hardly anyone that does understand. Not many people. They don't understand. I mean, they have Christianity real bad, or they got to try and fit it into some kind of box. And I just, you know, I did my share of time listening to all of these people out in the conspiracy community and the New Agers. And, you know, I cannot, this doesn't fit into any of their stuff. Not even close. It's absolutely unique. So, you know, I think about all the things that Glen has said over the years, and some things I don't remember. I wish I remembered every single thing he said. But there was a lot of stuff. And some of the realizations that I started to make are now, when he's gone. You know, and it goes back to this whole thing that he always told me: creation is a process, not a person. Creation is a process. And this is a process, and it's a process for everybody. And nobody's process will be the same. Everybody has something in this that affects them. Everybody's got, you know, there's a meaning they grabbed on to something that Glen said, and it meant so much to them, certain things. And it's stuff that they have to deal with, you know, and it means something in their growth, in their process. And Glen was the most gentle, kind man I ever knew. He was also first one to tell me, you know, to basically straighten up and fly right. If I had any kind of negativity, which I went through a lot of that, he was the most honest man I've ever known. He was the most honorable man I've ever known. And these people that did this to him don't deserve to be anywhere in the same universe. They don't deserve it. And they will always be a problem. Therefore, they have to be dealt with.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I always, for me, Glenn, this guy had so much integrity. Integrity was so important to him. And that really affected me. It made me be a better man. He set an example.
Yeah.
And out of, searching for truth, I've never seen anybody that even scratched the surface compared to the things he talked about. And I was just so shocked at how honest he was with me. There was no games. Treated me like a friend. So it's just when I first heard about it, it was kind of rough on me. But when I spoke to you, Johnny, you made me feel better. I was kind of surprised. You're really strong. And you reminded me that it's not the end. And that's something me and Glenn talked about that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there were many times in the past, years back, and he had told me, this was back in 2012, I think it was, when I was stuck in Ogdensburg. He said these think tanks that dreamed up all of this stuff that they were, doing to us even back then, actually hoped, because me being so negative and such a victim, that I would actually drive Glenn crazy, and that he would drop me, or he'd just want to kill me. That's how they were thinking. That's how these groups, they're so subversive, and they have other think tanks, and they study the psychology of people, and they try to plan and strategize around that, about what they can drive someone to. And for years, I thought, I can't do anything right. And pretty soon it fed into itself. And I was stuck, just really stuck. I was stuck for years. And Glenn told me last week, one day, he said, you're in charge now, and the salary depending upon you. So remember that. Now you're in charge. He told me that. And what it means, it's not like I'm telling them what to do. It's not it at all. It's just that now he's there and I'm the connection here. So all that takes from me, I believe, is to be willing. And I just kind of figure, you know what, if Glen can die for this, then I owe it to be everything that I can be. Because I don't want to be in this place. I don't want to, he told me many times, if it's not finished, this life you'll have to come back. And, when I thought of the description of how things were going, I don't want to come back. I want to just do it in this life. Whatever it is that has to be done, I just want to do it. Because I'm tired of this planet. And I'm tired of all of these nasty, evil people. And they are truly evil. I'm tired of it. I just want to get this done. And sometimes it feels like I'm fighting myself to try and do anything. But I need this done. And Glenn always told me that there were 7 billion people waiting at the gate, waiting for all of this. And they're waiting, there's a lot of people waiting that haven't even been able to enter paradise because it's been filled up with persons that don't belong there. And it had to be cleaned out. So that's been an ongoing thing. But, that's 1 or 2 or 3 groups of God, different groups that I can figure out that cause that kind of problem. Because they're knowledgeable about all of this. And they figured out how to move things around to their benefit. So, myself, around here, that's why I know this isn't about fighting the system. Because the system can't be fixed. You only fight something you think can be fixed, or you think you can conquer. But it's too broken to be fixed. It's tainted. It's broken and tainted. This is not about, fighting the system. It's about leaving this universe. That's what all this is about. Leaving this universe. And that's the thing to keep in mind.
It's so broken at it's like this core. I remember we were talking about you were explaining to me about cats and how just the whole situation with them and how they're killed, and by vets, and people put them to sleep because it's just another signify how broken the system at every level. You see it everywhere. In the States over here, we're seeing it, and in the political stage, they're making sure. It seems like they want people to see this, But they, with these people, I don't know. They have their agenda as well, So, but apparently for 2020, I'm seeing that, and there's a lot of people who believe. They call it this is the age of awakening, and they believe like it's like it's gonna be like better or something because they're being told now, but I don't think they understand that they're gonna be gotten rid of. They're gonna mass murder a lot of people, and the future that they have in mind is not. It's not something I look forward to. As far as all the mass murder, but I understand at the same time that these people who've been managing all of this, that they got to go. Because it's just...
Well, the people that are trying to stop the project are what is being focused on right now. That's the big focus right now. And the project has to take place. So that part I know about. That one has to happen. Those are the people that got to be got out of the way. The ones that are trying to stop this. And they thought when they killed Glenn, they stopped it. That's what they think. So
why are they so bent to stopping it? Why do they want to stop it so bad? They feel that threatened. Their power.
Yeah, if you want to control everything, then you want to control some people that their intent is to leave. And when they leave, the universe is closed, basically. And you're left with something that's going to die. You would try to control that. So it's not just some Freemasons or some groups that want to, if their intent was just for the property, or so on, they will feel right now that they've done it. But it goes beyond that. It has to do with people or troglodytes, that know that if certain people leave, then they are not going to be going and they will be left here. And they have a limited time left that they can reign because the universe will destroy itself. And they see far beyond what, human beings see. Human beings, don't see as far as these people. And as the universe expands, the galaxies are going to ever increasingly be apart from each other. And a lot of things will change. I read something about that, it was a month and a half ago, about what would happen if, the universe keeps expanding. But at some point, everything kind of just dissolves. And, anything that's living wants to extend their life and they want to live. They want, it's self-preservation. They want it. So they don't want to die, even though it's probably hundreds of thousands of years away. But it's something, they want an everlasting reign, be in control. Those are the control freaks. Yeah.
Control freaks, yeah. That's how they are. always got to have control. And I think this computer that they have, right, that kind of manages it all, it's running on that same program, right? Just control.
Well, it will be spewing out all of the data about what's going to happen 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, 10,000 years from now, 100,000 years from now. So there's a lot they know way in advance. And the ones up on the surface here do their bidding. And then we call them bosses, or, the ones in control here. But they listen to the ones down there. It's an oyster within an oyster within an oyster kind of thing. Or a cloister within a cloister within a cloister kind of thing. That's kind of situation, I believe, that is going on here. And I myself, I've become more and more of a kind of, I just watch all this stuff around me, on a day-to-day basis, and I just don't, I don't feel like I watch a lot of things, I observe a lot of things, but I don't get involved in it because it's part of, what there is no, there's a lot of petty stuff that goes on day to day,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff. People get all involved in this stuff, and I just anymore I look at it like it's a foreign world because my mind is set on what has to be done, and it's become more so, and it's accelerated in the last few months. And now Glen is, he's with the dead now, so it's even ever more accelerated for me. I want to get things going. I want to get done with all of this that has to be done here. And that was the way that Glen was.
Yeah.
That he wanted.
He was a man with a task to do. He had a job.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've gone through this life, let me tell you, with no home. And I lose people that really matter to me. It's been happening to me my whole life. And I've had a lot of harassment. I mean, it's just continual. And then I have to say what happened with Canada. Boy, that's been oh so special. I learned a lot. But all I can think of, and I watch all of this, and I think, I look at people around me, and they don't seem to have a clue. And all I can think of is, I got to get this stuff done. Got to get out of here. So right now, I've been told to wait and take care of the cats. That's what I intend to do.
Anybody else still there?
Wow. So only you and me? No?
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm still
Hello.
Dana
Still listening.
been real quiet.
That's Dana. That's how he usually is.
I'm looking through photos that kind of remind me of Glenn as I'm listening to y'all. Like if I found a picture of a seagull flying over New York, I'm just kind of pondering what y'all are saying, soaking it in. But thank you for talking on behalf of Glenn, and what I kind of like what y'all are going with talking about the connection between Glenn's ideas and the ultimate opportunities we have with the universe and stuff. That's kind of where I like to think about, like, what ultimately this all means, kind of thing. Not to like wrap it up in one like thing, but you know what I mean?
Well, you're young and you've got a lot of experiences that you have to go through. And Glenn always said life begins at 40 because that's what they say.
Huh.
But life begins at 40 for a reason.
But then he said something about 50 where it just gets better. And when I first started talking to him, he used to always tell me that life begins at 40.
Yeah.
But his life was different, though, right? He didn't really started realizing things till later on, and really later on.
Well, when you're young, you're busy having experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And after the age of 40, you're going to start to, kind of start thinking about those experiences.
Age of conscious. Age of consciousness.
So you have to have the experiences. You can't get out of it.
No one's above the process. Creation reveals or tells you its secrets after a long period of time. That's with everything. That process. No instant gratification. What was it that you said? Creation hated, didn't like hypocrites, control freaks.
Hypocrites and control freaks. Got courts just for those people. That's the worst crime. Control freaks and hypocrites are the worst crimes.
And I see a lot of that in the media, politics. It's nothing but hypocrites. And everything. Hypocrisy. Like all the people who we're told we got to respect and listen to, these people are hypocrites.
Yeah, well, I've been told I would be, and I suspect because I have been, that this retired lawyer told me I was incorrigible. I would be considered incorrigible and not okay to be in Canada. Like I would never be allowed. So you have your choice to be incorrigible or be a criminal, hypocrite, control freak. Cats are incorrigible. Can't train them. Can't control them. Can't teach them. I'd rather be a cat.
I'm looking it up. Incorrigible. Incapable of being corrected or amended. Such as
right.
Not reformable. Depraved, delinquent, not manageable. Unruly, unalterable. Oh, that's tenacity, right? That's tenacity.
Yeah.
The word they come up for people like you.
Yeah, apparently.
People don't want to swallow their bullshit.
I asked this person, how come you didn't help me? Glenn called you and asked when I was in jail up there for your help, and you didn't help. Why didn't you help me? And he said, this whole thing, it's just too dark, too murky, too much. And you would have been considered incorrigible. Never allowed really to enter Canada. And since that time, from what I can pick up by listening to this person talk, this is someone who has lost all of the interest and enjoyment in living. Sounds old, sounds tired. He did say to me, I am ready to die. He said the Canadian system of the legal system here is corrupt beyond measure. It's all corrupt. He said, I couldn't even deal with it anymore. I didn't even renew my license. I can't deal with them. That's what this man told me. And I said, you're living right in the path of all the water from the Lou. And he said, oh, that thing where Lake Superior is, all this water is going to come out of there. I said, basically, yeah, you're living in the path of it. And he said, you know what? I don't even care. He said, I'm ready to die. If it comes, fine.
He's been broken, sounds like.
Something happened.
I mean, a lot of us are broken. A lot of people are broken. The broken system. That's what they do, right? They try to break you, and they abuse you, break your will.
Well, this was somebody who had been RCMP, then he became an attorney. He did the legal paperwork for Canadian Institute to incorporate it. And then at that time, he was working for the OPP, some kind of investigations for them. And Glenn had contacted him and asked that he help me. I don't know what they did or what they said to him. I don't know if he was threatened, because that's a lot of times how it works. You get threatened. I don't know what happened. But this is someone who sounded like he's done this everything now. I imagine the OPP headquarters will be buried underwater, too.
Yeah, then they, I'm not sure if it's Bell headquarters or OPP, but one of them it was OPP, I think. They got moved years ago, right? To be right in the path.
They're in Aurelia, and that's right there. So they're going to, and they've been given many chances, and they've been told that they can't hear it. Glenn, he told me when he was in the hospital that all these people appeared, and he looked up in the yard, and there was an ambulance and fire truck, and he said it looked like high up OPP people. And not just the run-of-the-mill officers, and they all came there. And he thought that this was them showing concern for the first time. And I didn't say anything. But that is not what I thought. And the letter or the email that I got from Ms. Runciman, said that it sounded like, oh, well, he made the choice to go. And I said, I knew the truth of it. He was told, if you don't come, if you don't, go, we're going to arrest you. And that's why he went. But I don't say much to Glenn at that point because Glenn was really trying to think that these people maybe turned a corner or something and they changed. And I have my doubts, very strong doubts about that. And it's just, beyond coincidental that Senator Bob Runciman's daughter is OPP in Brockville and is involved in this. It's, I keep going, dang, because he's one of the 4 people that would have appeared Bob's hometown. And that's what the investigators said in 2016 when I was supposed to be there. And I would have been murdered. Sounds like their genetics, like father, like daughter, man, to me. That's what it sounded like to me.
So they're both like civil servants, right? That's the common denominator. Father and daughter.
I think senators in Canada have a lot of freedom to be involved in something, I don't know, at another level. I don't even pretend to know too much, except senators seem to have answer to different parties than like an MP. I don't think MPs have any power, really. But that whole system, that what bothers me, that system is that they bill themselves as democratic. Well, that turns out not to be such a good thing. We've got Democrats here, and they all seem to be alike.
Yeah, they're most likely to be bureaucrats, right?
Yeah. It seems that they have a different agenda than what people think.
I know in Canada they have they have I don't think they call them Democrats up there, but they call them they have a liberal and they have a ultra liberal and
they have
more.
They have the NDP. They have the NDP, the Liberals, and the Progressive Conservatives. Those are the 3 major parties. Then there's the Bloc Québécois, and then there's a few others. But the Green Party, and I think there's 2 or 3 others. But the NDP, Glenn always called them the 1789 gang, which meant bourgeoisie or bureaucrats. And he had a lot to say about the liberals versus the conservative progressive or progressive conservative party. But the only common denominator with all that is that it's bureaucrats that run the show in Canada, and that the politicians are all cosmetic. They don't do anything, and they have no power.
Yeah, they just argue.
They like their headlines and whatever their office does that gets something done, and then they get to take the credit for it. So, it's like, and I said it before in an article, it's an Ouroboros eating itself. That's all that whole thing is up there.
Yeah, they tell you who they are. Like when I watch the politicians here, like the ones who are, say, against the president, Trump over here, like they call themselves the resistance. And that's in reference to like France and the French Revolution. And they talk about the Fourth Estate, which is the news. This whole structure they have that's all based off of that revolution.
Now, well, all of them are following their DNA. So you'll see by what group they gravitate to and all the kind of things they do and the things they say, you will find what group, where their DNA is from.
Do you think that it's really, because it seems like it was being talked about, like that whole network of those abusers, sexual abusers. It seems like they were mentioning it and talking about it with that Epstein guy, and it's like almost hinted at that they would be kind of bringing it to start letting people know. You think that will be part of that 2020 agenda?
I don't know. I know what the cell told Glenn, and Glenn talked about, is that in 2020, you will all see clearly why things are the way they are in this world, on this planet, in this systems. You're going to find out. I think there's a lot of major revelations coming. I've been told that there are 20 journalists, not from different parts of the world, that will be putting articles out and putting stuff out about what happened with Glenn and myself. And I know there's a book that will be published after the Lou. There's a book. And I know that they had talked about different names for the title, and one of them was Who Killed America? But I'm not sure in the end what it will be titled. But that's going to come out as well. And I'm sure there's a lot more than that, but I'm not privy to that information.
Weren't they, from what I remember speaking with Glenn about that, is that they wanted to have this book, right? But they wanted to kind of frame it that, it's all America's fault, and to justify the destruction of America. The whole
this is a book that Glenn wrote many years back. So I don't know any more than that. I don't know who is the publisher. I know that that's a reason that my friend Arthur Omoto was murdered, because he had given Glenn a specific amount of money out of the blue when I was first here, and had talked and wanted to give it to him, and Glenn, I guess there's some talk somewhere with him in the cell about that Arthur was had something to do with a company or some Japanese group that wants to publish the book. Arthur and Glen had talked when I was still in jail at OCDC in September, when I was there in September, and I didn't come here until November 2nd, but they had talked about how could Arthur help me, and it was going to be dependent on where they dumped me, because I was told we're either going to put you in New York or Nevada or California. I haven't decided what yet. Was it done to induce fear and terror? Was it done because they were trying to figure out what they were going to do with me and how would they handle me? I don't know which. In the end, when I was sent, there was a packet of papers that I still have that were handed to me, and they were all these homeless shelters. And the one they picked out that was tagged, and they were sure the police, which I was handed over to, were going to take me there or put me on a hold and take me somewhere and then take me there, which it didn't work. But the place picked out was called Bell. And Bell Homeless Shelter, run by the Salvation Army. But that didn't work out the way they thought it would. And Arthur is responsible for that. And I know that 2 members of the cell came to question Arthur. They went and they went to see him before I was down there, and they asked him what his intention was toward me. And they talked about the whole thing. I don't think that Arthur knew it was the cell, but they came and talked to him. It's for reasons like that and 10 million other reasons that I know that these people are going to be stopped. They can think whatever they want, and they can go ahead, take the property, go ahead and do it all, because everything that you do is going to count against you in the pineal court. Go for it. And it'll come right back to creation, and I'll be there. They can do what they want.
You think it's possible that we could fight for that farm?
Why fight? Creation's all got it handled. I'll know. I will know at the right time what to do. But if you want to make sure that somebody gets the ultimate penalty, you let them do what they're going to do.
Give enough rope to hang themselves?
Yeah. Go ahead. Make my day. So I'm not, I've been contacted, a message left for me from the bylaw people in Kempville. I have someone trying to contact me from the OSPCA, Ontario Provincial Society for Prevention of Cruelty of whatever to Animals. They're the door openers for the OPP. And they want to come on the property. I'm not going to give them permission to come on the property. I'm not going to have anything to do with that. They want me to say, oh yeah, the cats. And you know what? It breaks my heart because I love cats. I love them so much. But I can't do that. I know how my daughter was used and has been used to do stuff like that to me. And that's how they're trying to use the cats situation. But you know, the cats belong to creation, and the cats know that. And the cats accept whatever is going to happen. And I've been told that. Cats are smarter than we are. And I've been told that. So if they want to trespass on the property, let them. Because I want them to get the ultimate penalty. They deserve nothing less.
Punishments. Anybody have anything to say? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, but I don't know if anyone else is.
No, I'm still here. Just listening.
I'm still here.
Dana, you got anything to say?
It's just that we can only wait and see now. You know, everyone knows what's been going on, what's been done. We've been told by Glenn what's to come. Everyone just has to keep listening for their instructions and doing that. You know, I'm gonna go.
You know, I'm just like thinking. I think about like how many people actually know like what's going on, and I feel bad. Like there's people who, of course, I feel bad for people who are just completely oblivious, and you know, not their fault. But I feel bad for the people who are looking, you know, and they won't have a guy like Glenn that helps them out.
Well, I think you have to remember some of Glenn's talks have like 156 downloads 2 weeks after the talks are uploaded.
Yeah, I think when I look at like who downloads it, I think it's, you know, people who actually, you know, generally listen to it, learn from it, and I know it's people on the other side.
Yeah, but there's got to be at least another 20 people that is not included in that we haven't spoken to.
Yeah, I get emails and stuff from people who they ask about the newspapers and stuff, and they got questions or whatever. But a lot of people choose to kind of watch from like a distance. They kind of want to be anonymous. I guess, I don't know, maybe fear. They don't want to deal with repercussions being associated with this stuff.
Uncertainty.
Oh, they may have a family and all that stuff, and that could be used against them. Which is why I think families
nail in the foot
exist. Yep, it's just there to just be exploited by a system. I see people at work and they put up with so much crap. And when you say, "Hey, why don't you do something better?" They say, "I got kids. I got this. I got this. I got that. My wife and kids." Bad. They'll eat shit because,
and they just make it where everyone is just trying to survive,
Yeah.
Not too far away from being hungry. Like that perfect balance.
That's why it's not about fighting the system. It's about leading the universe.
Yeah, you can't fight them. These are masters of war.
That's what Glenn would say. Like this place is designed like this, so how you react in this world is how you're judged. Given all this stuff that they toss at you, and there's so many opportunities to be corrupt and to be like this or be like them, and if you still choose not to, and you still try to make someone's life better or the world better, it's stress laboratory.
Yeah, it's like they want to make you a better slave, this. Which means kind of killing your humanity. I think I remember Glenn saying something like that. They would test him to see the decisions he would make. Put him to experience to see the decision. In all his reincarnations, they would test him, see if he would, support the system. I guess that's what it is. There's those people that you see who question, how can they do this? They've been so engineered to just be that perfect slave. I can imagine what the future slave's going to be. There's going to be no. There's going to be. I don't think there'll be any chance of it being free thinking individual. I think individuality is going to be out the door. Be connected to this computer. And it won't really have its own thoughts.
The Borg.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's just not even. They show you in the science fiction, they give you clues. Now it's all about bringing us all back together again into this one structure of
Still Borg in the sense that they're still mindless. Right? It's like when you
program, but there's more of a chance. There's more of like a chance of people, breaking away from that. But what I'm saying with this new slave, I don't think there's going to be a chance. But creation always finds a way, right? Doesn't need much.
Well, creation is leaving the universe. By the time they have their product, creation not here. This is the last, in this time period that we're in right now, the last, 40 years that they've got planned. It's less than 40 now, I guess. It's about 40. That before, or by the time this last event takes place around somewhere 2058 to 62, that somewhere in that time period, the creation has left this universe and taken those that are waiting at the gate by that time. They're leaving. And they're just sitting farther forward in this football-shaped universe than we are. And from what I understand, that end of the universe is not closing down like the end of a football because of what they've done. It just continues to expand. But the idea is that we're in the last 4 years here of this universe, where creation is here, and things. The northern hemisphere is still around because in 40 years the northern hemisphere will have been shut down. So that's why I keep saying it's not about fighting system, it's about the universe.
You're breaking up. You broke up. Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, you were breaking up. I didn't understand.
Said it's not about fighting the system or trying to change anything here. It's about leaving the universe. And that's what this project that's going to happen on the farm is part of that. And if they come in and they raise the house and they take everything off the property, it's still not going to change anything. Creation will still get the property back. The court will get it back. And there will still be a project there. And they can't stop that. That's still happening. And I have not heard otherwise.
So do you want to do this type of thing once a week or every other week, or just you want to do it whenever, I guess, we're all free? Or
Well, we'll play it by ear. And I think that there's still stuff going to be happening over the next few weeks too. So, but then again, who knows what happens with world events?
Yeah.
North Korea promised the U.S. a special Christmas present. Oh, gosh. Of course, they always get that going whenever they want people to look at something else. Get them focused on North Korea.
You know, have you seen like all that stuff with China and stuff, like with the spies? And that reminded me, like, because apparently this is battle because China has, you know, steals all this intellectual property from the U.S. and they have spies, you know, stealing information, you know, and apparently, you know, Trump's like, oh, trying to stop that. But in my mind, I think the reason that is because when Marco Polo took all the information from Asia and brought it to Europe, which created the Renaissance period, all that technology, this is their way. This is all that spying and intellectual property. That was them retrieving all that information. But yeah, it's painted on the political stage like, you know, kind of stealing, but I think they're just getting back what was theirs.
Well, I think they also promised after the Opium Wars that there was going to be payback for that too.
Didn't that like create like families, dynasties that are like now that whole Opium War? I think Glen Kealey, I think his family was involved in that. I think.
You know, it was profitable for everyone. But it's drugs and money.
Bribes, drugs, money. China makes a lot of money off of drugs off the U.S. Fentanyl and all that stuff.
Well, Canada, CBSA make a lot of money too because they're the biggest drug smugglers on the North American continent.
Who?
The CBSA.
Oh, yeah, of course, because they're at the border. When it all comes through, it has to go through them.
No, those are small time. They're dealing with Syrian Maronite priests in Lebanon. And they were infiltrated with Iranians too. Iranians within the CBSA were responsible for what happened to me. CBSA told me
Hello? Sounds like they got disconnected. I'm looking at the screen. Dana is gone. And I think he passed around.
Yeah, it says left call.
Yeah, something happened. I guess that could be a segue out, right?
Yeah, perhaps. I'm super tired at the minute. Sorry, I must have said much.
Yeah, I kind of just want to say it was wonderful meeting such a unique person. Glen is always going to be in our hearts, and his legacy is sealed, and no one will forget him, whoever hasn't heard of him. That's for sure. So.
Certainly not.
Sorry about that.
Both you guys got
difficulties. Well, we're on the same line.
Well, I was gonna end it. It's almost got half an hour to 10.
Yeah, I got to fix food for cats here. Cats have to eat dinner.
How many cats do you have?
Enough. Have enough.
I got some spoiled cats.
Mm.
You ever watch those cat videos on the internet?
Oh yeah.
I've seen some bugged out stuff that cats do. Like, it's just like strange things that they do.
I think I have a Shoe Talk listener who has been emailing me cat pictures and stuff, so kind of opened my eyes to how weird cats are.
Like they can make like certain faces, some of them, like, it's strange.
I had a weird experience with my cat last night. I woke up to go to the bathroom and my cat was in this position down the hall. Went back to sleep for another hour. I woke back up and he was in exactly the same spot, looking at me the exact same way as I was an hour ago when I woke up. It's kind of like, I was like, wait, did I go back to sleep?
Your cat has you psyched out.
When I was on the farm last, there was this one cat that used to just walk with me when I would, like, at night and stuff. And I'd go out in the front by the raft. He would just follow me. One cat. I like to think that he was probably just looking after me or something.
I think they're all thinking of you, man. Any one of them. Some may think you're a little off. Some may want to get to know you better.
Yeah. I mean, I see a lot of cats on my job day to day. A lot of them run away. Some are really friendly.
I'll have to mail y'all like a postcard with all the cats on it one day or something.
Like a Christmas card?
Cool cat.
I got to start getting food ready for cats here.
Okay.
Well, guys, I'm going to have to go. I have things I got to take care of now.
All right. Well, guess we'll do this again. Good night, guys.
All right, man. Thank you, and I hope everyone feels all right, and hang in there.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
Thank you.
Eventually.
All right, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
What?